Donald Trump is questioning the legitimacy of the ballot counting process, and many of his supporters are following his lead. Jeff Semple is in Detroit, Michigan tonight.
USA! USA! Donald Trump supporters of all stripes gathered in downtown Detroit, united in anger.
We're going to expose them. Lock them up.
Echoing the president's unsubstantiated claims that the election was stolen.
What'd you say?
What are you going to do if they declare Biden the winner?
Well, talking to you remind me to clean my gun. But I'm going to be ready for them, trust me.
The Democrats won Michigan by around 146,000 votes.
Have you seen any evidence of fraud yet?
Yeah, there's fraud if you cannot look at the ballots.
Some Republican poll watchers, like this woman, claim they were prevented from inspecting the ballots.
They hate that I challenge every ballot on that table. So they try everything they could to kick me out of there.
Others point to claims circulating online, such as this viral video that purports to show someone arriving with a wagon of ballots in the middle of the night.
There's a man rolling a wagon into the TCF Center here yesterday.
Turns out it was actually a local news cameraman. The video debunked by his network.
And the wagon, we have it right here. This is what it looks like. It was carrying, as it is now, equipment.
Or it's only evidence if the freaking media says it's evidence.
The chairwoman of the Republican National Committee is now calling on journalists to investigate the Michigan vote.
And that any irregularities that have occurred, whether by malicious intent or incompetence, are fully investigated.
What do you think it's going to take for Trump supporters to accept the election result?
I think a little healthy dose of reality.
This local Republican candidate who won his township north of Detroit believes his party needs to accept the outcome.
So even if they prevailed in Pennsylvania and Georgia, he's not close enough in the other races to merit a real challenge.
Back in Detroit, tensions flared as counter-protesters arrived, prompting police to step in. At one point, after shouting across the barricades, a militia member walked over to a Black Lives Matter protester and gave him a hug.
Yeah, absolutely, that was a hug. That was open dialogue.
A rare moment of unity in a deeply divided nation. Jeff Semple, Global News, Detroit.
2020 could be third time lucky for Joe Biden. This is the third time he has sought the U.S. presidency. His public life has been shaped by private grief, and now, days before his 78th birthday, he's poised to possibly take over one of the toughest jobs in the world. Joe Biden has spent his entire adult life in public life, including 2 terms as Barack Obama's vice president.
Talk about our bromance.
Born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, his dad fixed furnaces and sold cars. Blue-collar roots, he says, shaped him. His political start was in 1972 in Delaware.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Joe
how are
Biden's
you?
my name.
He was 29, full of confidence, and married with 3 kids. Then, just before Christmas, his life fell apart. His wife and baby daughter died in a car crash. His boys, Bo and Hunter, were injured.
You knew. You just felt it in your bones. Something bad happened. There will come a day, I promise you, and you parents as well, when the thought of your son or daughter, or your husband or wife, brings a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye.
Some politicians learn about despair. Biden lived it. He considered resigning, but with family support and faith in God, he stayed in politics. He took the oath of office from his son's hospital room. In 1977, he married again. In 1987, he was a prominent figure in Washington.
These people are being crushed.
And made his first attempt to run for president.
I honest to God believe I'll be the next president of the United States of America.
Come on.
Honest to God.
He was 44 and ran on the message of generational change. But those who covered him say his mouth was both his greatest asset and his greatest liability.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
He was accused of plagiarizing speeches, he inflated his academic record, and falsely claimed he'd marched in the civil rights movement.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He dropped out of that race, and at times he's struggled to appear like he's in step with the times. He's been accused of getting too touchy-feely with women and had to apologize.
But I will be more mindful and respectful of people's personal space.
In 2008, he tried for the presidential nomination again.
Can you reassure voters in this country that you would have the discipline you would need on the world stage, Senator?
Yes.
But he never gained traction. After he withdrew, Obama chose him as his running mate.
For decades, he's brought change to Washington, but Washington hasn't changed him. He's an expert on foreign policy whose heart and values are firmly rooted in the middle class.
In 2015, he faced another devastating loss when his son Beau died from brain cancer at the age of 46. Biden has cast himself as a steady, seasoned hand in an uncertain world. Even his critics can't deny he has experience and empathy. But if he becomes president, his greatest test is yet to come.